Hey everybody, today we're out here in the yard because I'm going to start working on my waterfall tank, and if I don't really need to make a bunch of stinky odors in the house, I'm not going to. So we're going to be mixing up some silicone, and we're going to be using some low odor, low VOC paint thinner in order to do it. And today we're just going to test a proof of concept. I've had a lot of people suggest I use pond liners. I did talk to somebody today who suggested that there are different types of pond liners out there, and maybe I got the wrong kind of pond liner. But when I first built the waterfall years ago, I tried a pond liner, and what I found was that nothing stuck to it. I couldn't get the silicone to stick to it. I couldn't get the foam to stick to it. Nothing would stick to it. I couldn't paint it or anything. It was also really sort of, I won't say stiff, but it wasn't soft and flexible enough to really contour the way I needed it to. So I ruled out using pond liners a long time ago, but I do have an idea of creating sort of my own kind of liner. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the GE silicone number 2, and yes, GE silicone number 2 is perfectly safe to use in your aquarium when used properly and fully cured. It's no different than silicone number 1. The only real difference is in the way it cures. It off-gasses ammonia rather than acetic acid, and I just think it's a little easier to work with because I don't have to breathe in all of that acid while I'm working with it. Just the ammonia fumes aren't that big of a deal. So we will be using the GE silicone number 2, and what I'm going to do is thin it out using the low VOC paint thinner as I suggested, and I'm going to make it into a thin enough mixture that it is literally paintable. And then I'm going to paint it onto a piece of cloth material. I cut up an old t-shirt just as a proof of, concept to see if we could actually get it to work. And once I get the t-shirt painted, we're going to let it cure and see if I can't make sort of a rubberized sheet out of that and see how durable it is. Once it's in place, it won't really have to, it's not going to get stretched and pulled and twisted and everything. I just need something really rubbery and soft and flexible that I can use as a liner. And then once that goes down on the base layer, I can actually paint and build silicone up over top of that. And that's what's going to give me my full waterproofing. So let's get started on that, and I'll show you my process of how I get it all mixed up and painted. We're not going to worry about coloring it or anything today. We're just going to get it mixed up, and we're going to paint it on a piece of material. See if we can't make a little bit of a rubber sheet. Alright, we're going to start just by putting some silicone in a cup, and then we're going to soften it up. Using some mineral spirits. Doesn't take a whole lot. Alright, and there you go. Simple as that. And I wouldn't recommend these kind of paint brushes if you're going to paint your living room, but for something like this, a little 99-cent disposable paintbrush is fine. I use them once, and then they'll get tossed in the trash after this. So this is my plan. I'm just going to go ahead and paint this silicone onto this piece of fabric. Let it cure and see how effective it is at being a rubber sheet. Alright everybody, you get the main idea. I'm going to keep on working on this. I got to make another batch of silicone. It doesn't go very far. And then once we get this whole thing covered, I'll let it cure, and then later, probably tomorrow, maybe this afternoon, I've got something we're going to put this on and fill with water and see if it actually holds water. So let me get finished with this, and then we'll move on to the next step, so you don't have to sit here watch me painting this step by step. Alright everybody, this is what I've come up with. Now I thought about doing a thicker coating on it, and I also thought about flipping it over and doing the reverse side so it's thick all the way through. But I decided I don't want to do that. Just for curiosity's sake, since I've done it like this, I figure let's try and see what happens, see if it holds water. And I'm actually gonna distress it just a little bit. I'm gonna, tug on it, maybe give it a little tug from corner to corner, pull it on the bias angle a little bit there, look, see if I can stretch it around, and then see if it holds water. And if it still does, we'll know that we've got a pretty durable fabric. I'm then going to try to do a piece with both sides. I may do multiple layers. I don't know. This is just a trial run, proof of concept sort of test, and so I wanted to start with the bare minimum of just gently painting one coat of silicone on there, letting it cure, and now we're going to see how well it does at holding water. So let me get the little cave set up. We're going to use this as a liner and fill it with water and see if it leaks. Alright, the cave did not work. I could not get the piece of cloth to fit in there in any kind of even fashion, but I had high hopes at first. When I first put it in, it held water for a couple of minutes. I actually went and got another watering can. I was going to fill it all the way up, but alas, when I came back and checked, I can see that it is indeed dripping water in several different places, and we've got water pooling up here in the back. So definitely not waterproof, but I think it's a good proof of concept. So I am going to actually take this very same rag, I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to try painting the other side, putting a few more coats on it, and seeing if we can't come up with a decent liner. But test number one was unsuccessful, at least in the sense of getting it to hold water, but it was a success in the sense that I now have a much better idea of just how much silicone I'm going to have to really put on here to make an effective rubber sheet out of it. Or possibly I will look into other types of pond liners or whatever. We'll see how that goes. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss any of the updates on this project. We are going to get this done at some point, and who knows, maybe I'll just resort to using the fiberglass in the long run after all, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, if you're subscribed, you won't miss that or anything else. Thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.